All right, so I bought a new lawnmower. I traded in my X758 gas and got a X758 diesel. So the X738 had 500 hours on it, and I am done cutting grass down at the plant. I'm not going to cut grass there anymore. I'm gonna finish up this year there, and then next year I'm done. So I decided, well, I'll get a new machine. I'll put a few hours on it this year down there just to make sure everything's broken in and there's no leaks or anything like that. And then what I make down there will pay for this machine. My X738 that had 500 hours on it, they gave me $7,500 for trade, which I didn't think was too bad. The other dealer that I've bought the majority of my stuff from, that does a really poor job with sales and service, they put together a quote, and I told them I had a snowblower that I was keeping, I had a bagging unit that I was keeping, and I told them I wanted a price quote. And, you know, I sent them all the information on my machine and everything, and I got the price quote, and it was $18,000. They had spec'd out a new snowblower, a new deck, a new bagging unit. They gave me $4,000 in trade for the machine that I bought from them. So I wasn't real happy with that, and I thought, well, maybe that's all my machine is worth. So I contacted a small family-owned John Deere dealership that's about an hour away, and same thing, I sent in some pictures of my machine, the hours, everything like that. Sent me back a price quote, $7,500 for my trade, and it was, what was it, I think right around $7,000 out of pocket. And I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with them. So a couple things. With my bagging unit, they couldn't keep the power flow because this deck is a little different than the X738. So I had to get a different power flow. Because I have the snowblower, you have to get the pass-through for the PTO. So that doesn't come standard, that's like an add-on. So that had to get changed over, or actually that's a new one. And then on the back here, these brackets are off of my machine, and that's for like the weight bracket and the bagging unit. So I'll just quickly talk about it. This is just going to be a real quick review. I haven't used it yet. I've been waiting. I want it dry. I don't want it all wet. I'm going to try to really avoid that as much as I can. And I didn't want to cut until I made a video first, so I'm going to make a video here and then we'll set it up. We'll do a little cutting around the yard, and then we'll call it quick. So real quick, some of the stuff that's different, obviously the engine. You can take a look at that. It's a Yanmar, so same manufacturer as the 3025E for the engine. And I don't know if that's John Deere or Yanmar that likes their gloss black paint, but boy, they just absolutely paint everything. Everything's just coated with that black clear. When you do start it, there's a little puff of smoke. When you do key it, you'll hear a click, and it's this solenoid down here. It must be the fuel shutoff solenoid. That clicks pretty good. This looks like this is where the oil is going to drain from down there. I'm not 100% sure. I haven't looked at the book that close, but that's just what it looks like. A lot of the stuff is still the same. 4-wheel drive. It's got the same screen for the radiator to clean. 4-wheel drive, the diff lock, power steering. They did away with some grease zerks on the cylinder, and then also on the front here for the pass-through, they actually have a sensor on here now. And the way they explained it to me is that you can back up with your snowblower and not have to press the yellow RIO button to override the reverse, so you don't, just so your PTO doesn't kick off. So if you're running your PTO and you try backing up, it's going to kick the deck off, or it would kick out the front more, unless you pressed this little yellow button here. You have to press it or hold it. So that I already bypassed. That's just a straight jumper wire in there. Same thing with the seat. It wasn't twice in, I moved and then it quit because of the seat, so I made up 2 jumper wires right away. I jumped the seat and I jumped at RIO, and that's basically the only things you need to jump. Everything else is good that way. There's no issue. With the deck, they did change some stuff too. Instead of these being metal, now they're plastic. The drive over portion, there is a guard that's supposed to go in here. I took that off already too, just because that gets packed with grass. And then down on the wheels on the deck, they went back to a greasable design. So we'll see how that works out. The previous ones I had on the X758, those were not greasable. So we'll get it set up here. We'll do, like I said, we'll do a little bit. I'll start it up. Oh, the other thing is the wheels. The wheels I had on the X738, those were steel. These are aluminum, so I don't know how I feel about that yet. I like the steel wheels. The issue always with aluminum is it tends to corrode, but maybe that won't be an issue if we're not dealing with salt. It's not like it's going to be driven during the winter, so we'll see how the aluminum does. I'm hoping for good things with that. And I think somewhere I read this machine is right around 1,000 pounds. I'm not sure if that's correct. It's got to be pretty close though. So we'll start it up here, and I'll make a couple passes. All right, and like I said, when you turn the key on, you're gonna hear a real loud click, and then when you start it, there'll be a little puff of smoke. So this is going to be the Maiden Voyage. The one thing that makes me nervous, I ran the deck a little bit. When you run the throttle all the way up with the deck, boy, that thing really whistles. It really screams. I'm surprised. It just seems like there's a lot of RPM there. So I'll let you be the judge of that. Alright, so like I said, it's just going to be a real quick review here. Oh, the other thing I forgot to mention, they also said they had to change over the hydraulic. There's a proportioning valve that you change for when you run the snowblower or if you're running the deck. And they told me they're taking the one off of my machine and putting it on this one. But then when I look at it back in there, it looks brand new. So I don't know if they just... It was only $75, so I don't know if that's what the valve cost. They didn't charge me any labor for it, so I'm not really sure, but no complaints with that. So just some real quick observations. When I would engage the PTO on that 738, the engine would kind of die and then come back up again. Even if you ran it at full throttle, engage the PTO, it still would like take a pretty good hit. When you engage it on here, it's like this engine's not phased at all, and this is a 54-inch deck, so same size deck and everything. That motor has a lot of torque. Holy moly! It doesn't even seem like it doesn't bog at all, cutting through any type of grass so far, at least. Like I said, this is just real quick here. It does a really nice job. The motor seems extremely strong. And the other thing I noticed is that, like, when I was turning the steering and stuff, I would get like a chatter in the steering, even running at full throttle at the X758, and this is just super smooth. So I don't know if I had something going out on that X738, or if it's just the fact that this motor has that much more power. It's got to be more torque. I think the horsepower is about the same between the two. It's got to be, this is torqueier, that it just does a better job of supplying the power, that the hydraulic pump isn't starving for power. I'm not sure. Maybe we'll find out more as we go here. But like I said, I just want to do a real quick review here before I get the thing super dirty. I'm going to take it down to the plant tomorrow and cut, and we'll see how it goes, and I'll keep you updated on everything with it, and if there'll be services and all that type of good things. So all right, that'll be it for now.